Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome back to another video. No, this is not even a vlog. This is a video. This is gonna be a Q&A. So welcome back to Adulthood 101 with Mishi, and I am Mishi. So we here talk about adulthood related content as well as vlogs, traveling or doing stuff, whatever it is that I will be vlogging at that time. So I don't have um, I know the direction I want to go with this channel, but I'm still trying to get there. So yeah, today is going to be a Q&A. In the last vlog, I did ask that you guys send me questions, and I did get a couple of questions. So I'm going to be answering those questions. So here we go. Hold on. So first question is, why did I start this channel? Um, Honestly, I just wanted to give it a try. I maybe someone out there might enjoy watching what I vlog. So yeah, I'm just giving it a try. I don't want to have a situation where um later on in the future I start thinking, oh, I should have started this channel, because like it's something I've always wanted to do, but it's just that I've been shy to do so. So when I did start this, I was like, you know what, just screw it. Like, let's just get this. Like, let's just try it out and see where it goes. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But at least I'll know that I tried, right? So, yeah, that's why. And then the other thing is, what's one of the biggest challenges you faced in adulthood so far? To be honest, it's navigating adulthood. Like, there are so many challenges that are there. Navigating adulthood is one of the biggest challenges that I have right now. Why? Because adulthood doesn't come up with a guide of how you're supposed to do things. Transitioning from being in school to becoming an adult and like being on your own 2 feet has been a challenge for me, because at school, you know, when you're about to write exams, it's because you're writing exams about what you studied, what you guys learned, the things that you guys like, basically things you know. And then you're here in the adulthood phase, which is like the worst hood I've ever been in, to be frank, because life just throws things at you. You don't know how to handle situations sometimes, but you just have to get through it. You have to make a decision, and you don't know if that decision is right or not. So yeah, that's one of the challenges I've faced so far as an adult. Okay, there's someone walking around. And then, how do you manage work-life balance, especially when things get overwhelming? This one is a bit tricky, because work-life balance. Do I have work-life balance? Somewhat, to some extent, I do. But then when things get overwhelming for me, to be honest, I just leave work, come back home. The good part about where I work is I don't take work home. So once I leave the office, I leave work. So when I feel overwhelmed, I just come home. Like, home is like the most peaceful place I have right now. So coming home is like the best part. So also make sure that the home that you're going to, or the home that you stay in, is a very peaceful place where you can be yourself and be as vulnerable as you can be while you're at home also, because yeah, it's very important. And while you're at work, have people that you can also talk to, like have friends. That also helps. Like, if you feel like something is happening at work, the best people to talk about that is people at work, because those are the people that can actually relate to what you're talking about. Because, for example, if I come home and tell people that I don't work with my problems at work, they won't really understand, because they are not in the situation. They can possibly give me advice, of course, yeah, but they are not in the situation. They don't know what goes around at work. So the people at work are the best people for me to talk to about work problems. I repeat, work problems, yeah. I don't really like to take my personal problems at work, even though I know at some point this year my personal problems were affecting how I was doing at work. But yeah, growing up, I was always told, or I don't know, my mom had this thing where she used to talk about how she separates work problems from home problems. When she's at work, she's focusing at work or on work. When she's at home, she's focusing on home stuff. So I'm trying to also implement that in my own personal life because I think that actually helps. Because yeah, but prior to this year, I used to be able to do that. But this year itself, it was really difficult to not take my personal problems at work because some things are just you just kind of like switch it off. It's not like a switch where you can be like, okay, I don't want to think about home stuff. I don't want to think about work stuff when you're at work at home also. So it was something else. So it's like something I am struggling with or trying to figure out. Um, what advice would you give to someone who's struggling with being an adult or adulting? I can't give advice because I also have my own struggles with navigating adulthood. Like I said at the beginning, it doesn't come with a guide. I could possibly give you like something that I can say to you right now and be like, oh, you should do this with your life. But there is no one solution fits all or one size fits all solution for the different problems that we do face in life. So yeah, it's just get through it. Look for people who know what you're going through and then talk to them about it. You don't have to go through life by yourself. No man is an island. So talk to people about your problems. If you bottle things up, like one day you're going to burst. It's like Coca Cola, right? When it's okay or it's just been the bottle has just been sitting there, it's fine. But if you shake it multiple times, like it's gonna have like the fizz will make the bottle like have so much pressure inside, and then the moment that you open that little bottle, the bottle top, it's gonna, you know, uh spill over. So the same thing happens with life. Don't bottle things inside. Talk to someone. That's why talking helps. Having a community helps also. Talk to a friend, a family person, or just random strangers if you feel like you don't want to tell the people around you what you're going through. Just talk to strangers. I'm sure there are people that have ears to listen and then they just listen to you while you just vent, because I know sometimes we don't need advice, we just need someone to listen to us. So just talk to someone. Um, where was I? Okay, here. What lesson have you learned the hard way since becoming an adult? Um, the hard way. Ah, this year. Oh my gosh, this year has been something else. I learned that I need to listen to my body. I learned that I need to be in tune with my body. At some point, is I think the first half of the year, I used to get sick a lot. Like I would have weird things like happening to me, and it's either every week I'm at the clinic after work or in the morning or on the day. Like basically I was going to the clinic a lot of times, and then my doctor at that time, like, you know, when you're always constantly seeing someone, you're obviously going to know like something is not right here. Like what's really going on in your life? Do you need some vitamin C? So at that point, that's when I realized that my body was shutting down and I just needed to take time off work. But at the same time, at that point, it was so busy at work, so I couldn't take time off, right? So I just had to push through it. But have a good partner, guys. Um, my partner, my husband, took us out for like a weekend vacation because he knew how much my body was shutting down. It's like, and it's also like at that time things were just rough. So yeah, it's one of those things. Just take care of yourself. Make sure that you also have people who understand what you're going through. That goes a long way. That really helps a lot. Um, so yeah, listen to your body, because if you don't, it will force you to take time off. Actually, I think I said that in the previous vlog where I was like, listen to your body. I'm also talking from my own personal experience, yeah, but everyone is different. So you do what you need to do. So yeah, listen to your body, take time off if you need to, and yeah, that helps a lot. Mm, how do you stay motivated when you're facing tough situations or setbacks? Wow. Okay, I it's hard to be frank. it's very hard to stay motivated when you're facing a lot of setbacks. For me, I used to be this motivated person who's always speaking positivity into my life, but the when things started happening in my life, especially guys, this year I I cannot even say this year enough. I'm sure I'm gonna say it a lot. So like at some point I actually stopped going to church because I'm like, why is God letting all these things that are happening in my life happen? I could not find anything positive that was happening in my life at that point. But I should have at least appreciated the fact that I was alive, even though my health was also taking a dive. It was, I should have looked for positive things. So and then I wasn't taking care of myself mentally as well. I was not mentally in tune with myself, I guess. It's like I tried to avoid my problems in a way by not facing them. Or I kept letting them pile up without actually fixing anything because I was just like, oh, it's burning there. I'll leave it to burn. And one of those keep going, even though it's burning, which is not something we should do. Or I would not recommend myself to do that again because, yeah, that's hard. But eventually along the way, it's like things started changing. And I started to see the reason why certain things were not happening when they was when I wanted them to happen. So it might not make sense now that you have setbacks, but maybe in a few months, maybe eventually you'll figure out why you are having those setbacks. So delay is not denial. So yeah. That's how I handle it. And then, what's one thing you wish you knew about adulthood before you hit your 20s or 30s? I'm still in my 20s. I haven't reached 30 yet. 30. I haven't reached the 30s yet. But I would recommend, or what? One thing you wish you knew. I wish I knew that it's okay to try out new things and to just try and not disqualify myself to do things because I feel like I'm not capable of doing them. Just do it anyway. You fail, it's okay. You can then at least you know that this is not for you. And then you're like one step closer to figuring out what is for you. So just try out different things. It's okay to fail. It's okay to not be good at something, but eventually you should figure out what it is that you're good at. Or at least make sure that while you're trying that thing, you're putting your all because you don't want a situation where you're constantly failing at something and then or at things because you want to keep trying out different things and then it's like, oh, I'm now in my 40s, right? So try out different things and figure out what it is you're passionate about and then stick with that, right? Hey, how do you deal with financial stress and budgeting as an adult? Okay, I have this thing what I do where my husband and I, we have this thing where we create an Excel sheet and then we list down the things that we want to do in that particular month or that we have to do in that particular month. If we haven't budgeted for it, we're most probably not going to do it. That's, yeah. So we need to budget for something before. So every month we literally sit down and we literally have finance talk. Let's talk. How much do we have? How much uh, are we going to spend? Are we able to do X, A, B, C? If not, then we're not doing it. So, yeah, figure out a plan that works for you. For us, it's Excel sheet with listing down the things that we want to spend on, or the things that we can spend on, or the things that we want to spend on in the future. Instead, like budgeting for the things that we want to buy, the things we want to do. Yeah, that. Okay, this question. Do you believe there's a right time to accomplish certain milestones like getting married, buying a house, etc.? I don't think so. I think any time is good time. So long as God said go, right? It's a green light from God, then yeah, it's a good time to do whatever it is that you want to do. Don't have this pressure of, oh, I need to be married by 30. Yeah. If it's just meant to happen, it will happen. And don't rush things. Because if you do rush things, you might not enjoy that moment or that phase because like you were rushing because oh you have a biological clock, you have you want to buy a house because that's what everyone else is doing. Don't do that. You don't know what people are doing to get what they have. That's one. You you don't know what is going on behind the scenes. People don't post the things, their struggles. People only post the good things that is happening in their lives. So when you are seeing things happening, then just let it be. Move at your own pace, plan your stuff properly, and then from there on, you can see what works for you at that time and when you'll be able to do or achieve that thing or that accomplishment that you want. Okay. What's something you do to maintain friendships and relationships as an adult? Ooh. Okay, so this one is a bit hard to answer because um I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. The people that are in my life, why are you guys there? I don't think I do anything special to maintain the friendships or relationships. I do try to communicate, but I'm also not so good at it because where I work, we basically don't move around with our phones. We basically put them out and then we put them in lockers and then we go about with our day, right? So I'm now so used to not having my phone with me that it's really affecting how I text. So anyone who texts me knows I am such a bad texter. It's not by choice. I know I've always been a bad texter, but I think it's getting even worse because of the fact that I'm so used to not having my phone around me. So yeah, I don't do anything special. Yes. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. How do you handle major life transitions like moving cities, changing careers, or starting a family? Okay, I can't speak on. Okay, I can somewhat speak on moving cities and country, I guess, because I grew up in Zimbabwe, right? And I'm currently in Malaysia. So when I moved from Zimbabwe to Malaysia, I was actually a student. It was a lot of culture shock for me, to be honest. The heat, the the air is different, right? The air in Zim is like, I think it's dry, I so to say, and then here it's like humid. Even my hair doesn't flourish in this weather or in this heat, right? So it's like it was a lot, and then the people, it's so different. You're so used to seeing all Africans, all black people, and then you're in this place where you are one of the few Africans that are there in that area, or yeah, so it's rather very difficult to do. I don't know. It was a hard transition for me, and it took a while. I think I'm still not really used to it, but sometimes I just try to ignore it and just act like I'm used to it, but I'm really not. Yeah, that's moving countries because like our cultures are more or less the same, but the people are different. People here, they're I think they're more in tune with their feelings, so to say, feelings. Yeah, because for us in our culture, or I don't know if it's everyone's culture or our where I the area or my family, how we grew up or how we were raised is if you're going through something, you don't have to let everyone know what you're going through. Whereas here, people can freely talk about what they're going through, and it's like, oh wow, I find that hard. I find it hard to talk about my yeah, I find it hard to talk basically about things to people who are not like really close, right? And then these people are so bubbly, like they have this very childlike energy. Like it's not in a bad way, it's like in a very good way. They're very happy people. And then there you are. Okay, maybe I'm just a serious person, I don't know. But yeah, I'm not very playful. So, and they are. So it's like, it's very different, right? So yeah. And yeah. Yeah. That's what's different a bit. Uh, what do you think? What do you wish society understood more about the struggles of adulthood? I wish we all understood that it's okay to, like, you don't have to be comparing yourself. Like, yeah, it's okay to feel like you're not in the same space with other people. You don't have to be comparing yourself with what other people are doing, because they say comparison is a thief, right? It is a thief, because now you're like, oh, why is it that we finish at the same time, but this person seems to be doing way better than I am. It's life, things happen. Like, your road and someone else's road are not bound to be the same. Like, things are just different. So it's okay for things to not be working out. Okay. And yeah, just move at your own pace, basically. Uh, what's one thing you do when you feel completely burnt out? I will most probably apply for leave and go somewhere if I have the money. But if I don't, I will just stay at home, but just take time off work and enjoy, just enjoy my rent. Yeah, it's, you don't always have to be going somewhere just because you feel like you need to go somewhere. Check your finances, like, manage your finances well. If you cannot afford to travel, then don't travel. You don't have to force yourself to go to places when you cannot afford it, because now you end up being in debt, and then now you have to pay that back. Because I feel like one thing about debt is you get your salary, you pass it on to someone else, and then at the end of the day you don't have anything for yourself left. So don't do things out of your scope. But then I do know and understand now that sometimes it's not like people go into debt by choice. It's just life is happening, and there are things that are needed. You have responsibilities, and you just have to borrow money and stuff. But when you do, just try to make a plan of how you're going to repay that money back, because I do know things can be difficult. You don't, sometimes it's like you do want to pay that money back, but you don't have the capacity to do so. So I don't know, just find ways to make revenue for yourself, ways to also take care of yourself mentally, and that should help you out. Yeah. So that said, um, yeah, yeah, that's one of the questions. And then, um, what's the difference between Malaysia and Zimbabwe? Okay, I think there's a lot of difference. Like, if you can see behind me, there's so many skyscrapers, right? And in Zim, we don't have a lot of that here. I mean, there, right? Um, things are a bit, not a bit, things are way more expensive in Zim compared to here in Malaysia. Here, it's easy to access a lot of things, whereas in Zim, it's not. Currency here is more stable than in Zim. Uh, but the people are nicer back in Zim. People back home know how to have fun. People back home, yeah, you can go out and not have money in your pocket, and you still know kuti. Kuti means to, oh, I don't know. You still know that you are going to have fun nevertheless. Whereas here, you need to have money to go outside and have fun. You need to know where you're going, and then unless you have people or friends that are willing to take care of you, which doesn't happen often, but because everyone has their own commitments back home or their own commitments somewhere, right? So it's rather a bit difficult. Yeah. And then December, Christmas in Zim, guys. Like, it's December right now, and I feel so homesick because I'm thinking of how much um like, this is like family time back home, and when you're here it's like, oh, okay, you're just by yourself, you're abroad, and you just have to get with it, right? And just keep doing what you're doing, right? And then there's also an assumption that people make about people who are living abroad. They think people who are living abroad have money. That's a very, very, very misconception. Yes, people who do certain works have money, but not everyone. Some people are like literally doing hand to mouth, and you, if you're back home, you're probably living a better life than someone who's living abroad. So don't think that people who are abroad have money. People are just uh, posting the best part of being abroad, but people don't have it all figured out. People are struggling where they're working. People are working like horses, donkeys elsewhere just to have food on their table. So, because in Zim, I know you're so flexible. Like you could be at work and then you could also have side hustles that you're doing because you can leave the office and then you can do other things and then come back and it's like, okay, I don't have money, but I need money for this. And then, you can make plans. You can, you can do stuff to get money. Whereas here, it's like you don't have that much leeway. If you go missing at work, like they're going to look for you because like, where are you going? Yeah. So yeah, being in Zim is probably way better than being here. But I know finances wise, people will be like, oh, being abroad is better, but sometimes it's just the same, to be honest. Would I reconsider or would I consider um, moving back to Zimbabwe and settle down there? To be honest, I growing up, I always said I wanted to live abroad. Like I never wanted to be in Zim. So that was never an option for me. But as of beginning of this year, I'm starting to think otherwise. I don't know what changed. I was in Zim in December until sometime in January last year, 2023, right? And I, the feel of just being at home, like to have people speak and you can understand what they're saying, even if they're not talking to you, that is just like, and like, it's just amazing. Like, I miss that. I've been here in Malaysia for a long time, but I don't know how to speak the language here. I know that's on me, but I never, I was at some point interested, but I lost the interest. I don't know how. Somewhere along the way, I lost the interest to learn the language because I didn't see the need because I can survive with English. So, yeah, I never learned the language. The languages, it's a multilingual country because there are different races here. There are Malays, there are Indians, the Chinese, yeah, all here. I'm sure there are more. Yeah, there are more, of course, like foreigners and stuff. But the people from this country, like, they're these three races mainly. I hope I'm not wrong, but those are the ones that I know. So yeah, um, I would consider. But now, yeah, I would consider. I am in a place where I'm open to it. If that door does open, I am willing to do it. But I don't know. Not maybe right now, but yeah, it's like a door that's now partially open on my end, which was never the case before. So yes. Anyways, if you've reached this far, thank you so much for tuning into my Q&A. Thank you so much for those that sent the questions. It's really appreciated. And yeah, I'm trying to be more consistent. December, this is like week 2 into December, or yeah, the second Friday of December, and I'll probably drop this video by midweek next week. So that's like when 11 or 12 December, which is 2 videos in December, which I've never done. 2 videos in a single month, like amazing. And then yeah, stay tuned for the other videos. Thank you so much for tuning in.